Shout out to Money Brown, man. Respect Junior. My boy Money Brown, he get a lot of money, that's why I call him Money Brown.
What's good, Money Brown TV? What up, what up?
Yeah. I want to give a shout out to Money Brown TV. Thank you so much for everything.
Hey, this is Ryan Garcia here. Shout out to Money Brown TV. And keep punching, baby.
Yo, what's going on out the fight? Well, it's your boy Money back with another one, man. And this one here is on a 2 up-and-coming rising welterweight. You know, they got the most steam behind them at 147 pounds. Vergil, Ortiz, and Jaron Ennis. Vergil Ortiz, you feel me, is coming out, you know, listening to Robert Garcia, you know, and he feel like he's better than, you know, Jaron Ennis. He feel like he's on a bigger playing scale. He feel like he's the better skill fighter, and he feel like he'll knock out Jaron Ennis. You dig? That's what I get from listening to Robert Garcia. You know, Robert Garcia said they sit around, you know, they have talks, you know, so when they talking, you know, these are the things that they talking about. And I don't blame Vergil Ortiz for feeling the way he's feeling. He's a fighter. He's in the game. He's young. He's up and coming. He's hungry. You feel me? And when you're young in that aspect, you know, and you got all the youth with you, you feel like you're untouchable. You feel like you're unstoppable. You feel like you can knock out everybody in your division. And that's how you're supposed to feel if you want to be an all-time great, or if you want to get ahead in this boxing game. You know what I mean? You can't have no fears, and you can't be afraid of nobody. You can't be afraid of nobody. You know what I mean? Just like Jaron Ennis coming up. Shouts out to Philly, dog. Boost want everybody. He want to smoke with everybody. You see how he's coming up. You know, he's taking on Sergey Lipinets April the 10th. His fight coming up. We're seeing what Vergil Ortiz did to Maurice Hooker. So they in the line of you know, outperforming one another. But Jaron Ennis came out, said he would walk through Earl Spence like wet tissue. He said he's smarter than Terrence Bud Crawford. Sean Porter said he wants no parts of this hungry young lion because he's on a mission. So you can tell that they getting their respect at the weight division. Earl told the boy, I don't know about tricks, but I know I can fight my ass off. Jaron said he got more tricks than Earl Spence. So, you know, Jaron and Vergil are saying what they're supposed to be saying. You know what I mean? Coming up in this fight game, especially when you're trying to work your way to the top, you're supposed to go at all the head hunchos. But Vergil Ortiz, you know, when you look at him and Jaron Ennis, you can say that Vergil has been fighting the better competition. You can't take that away from him. I mean, Vergil resume have more known names than Jaron Ennis resume, and that's a fact. So Vergil can go out there and say, you know what, I feel like I'm fighting the better people. You know, I feel like I'm on top, and he's inside the top 10 already. Boost trying to get there. You know, Boost trying to get there. Boost got Sergey Lipinets, who I feel like is at number 10. And I think if Boost take care of Lipinets in impressive fashion, he will be in the top 10 as well. You know, but Vergil Ortiz, you know, with his performance he put on against Maurice Hooker, with the stoppage he got, put him inside the top 10. And he feel like that he would knock out Jaron Ennis. He feel like he would knock out Jaron Ennis. And that's a hell of a statement. And I'm quite sure Jaron Ennis feel like he would knock out Vergil Ortiz. I know he feel like that. And it's not being arrogant, it's just believing in yourself, man, knowing that you're better than your opponent that's across from you, no matter what level he's on, no matter what he's done in the ring, no matter how much hype that he got behind him. Because you believe in your skills and you believe in yourself. And I think that's what Jaron Ennis feels. He feel like he will go in there and knock out Vergil Ortiz, just like Vergil Ortiz feel like he will knock out Jaron Ennis. You know? And this is one hell of a fight for the future. This is one hell of a fight for the future. You know what I mean? Boost got all the skills in the world. He's a bad boy. He got the speed. He got the power. He got the pizzazz. You know, he go in there. He's flashy. You know, he put on the show for the people. He want to go in there and want to knock your head off. You seen what he did to Chris Van Herden in one round before the headbutt occurred, you know, and it was a no contest. But now he's going up against Sergey Lipinets, a well-gamed dog. You know, you got to learn to slow himself down. Don't rush too much and let it come to him because, you know, your skills going to speak for itself. Your skills going to speak for itself, and your shots will land even better when you take your time and place them. You know what I mean? But Boots, you know, he's young. He want to prove a point. He go out there, and he want to just annihilate his opponent, so he's ready to put his skills on display. You know, you work your ass off to get into that ring and show the people what you're made of. You feel me? And Jaron Ennis is putting that hard work in, that Philly grind. You dig? Them boys are straight off the streets of Philly, and it's a tough grind. You look at his workouts, man. Look at the things his pops put him through when they out there putting in that strength and conditioning. When they running, when they back there flipping tires, when he climbing buildings and, lifting on old type of rusty ledges and shit like that on vacant buildings. Like, they doing that real hard, gritty work that's from the streets that people don't really do no more. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. I know we done advanced the age and you got the high tech shit. Sean Porter with the high performance gym. You got hyperbolical chambers and shit. You got the temperature thing that frees your bones that, it helps you out now, keep you from having to do ice baths and things like that. But, Jaron Ennis, he keeping it old school. Now, I know he mixing some good things in there that's, in the future. You're supposed to. But nonetheless, you go back to that real hard, that grind that really made people champions back in the days. The things you watch and be like, God damn, how you do that type of shit. You go back to those things and you put that in, and it shows progress, and it shows the real gritty work, man. It really does. Them old school workouts, those old school regimens, dog, that shit pays off. It pays off. You did? Because in the boxing game, like, the harder you work, the more you go get out of yourself, and it's going to show in the ring when it's time to perform. It's going to show in the ring when it's time to perform. But nonetheless, Vergil Ortiz, can he knock out Jaron Ennis? Can Jaron Ennis knock out Vergil Ortiz? Judging by their last performances, I feel like both of these dudes are highly skilled, highly trained, highly professional, and they want it, dog. They want it. Vergil, after his performance against Maurice Hooker, he called out Turnbull Crawford. He said, I don't know if I'm ready or not, but fuck it, I want the challenge. And you got to respect that, and you got to praise those type of dudes. Like I say, back in the days, man, Sugar Ray Leonard and Tommy Hitman Hearn and Roberto Duran and, Marvin Hagler, those boys was fighting each other in their 20s. The age that Boots and Vergil is at right now. You know what I'm saying? Banging in their 20s. Those was the primes back then because it was a different type of energy. You believed in yourself. You believed in your skills. You wanted to go out there and put them on the line. It don't matter what age you was at. Just give you your opportunity and you got to take it. You know what I mean? Give me my opportunity. I'm going to take it. I'm going to show up and I'm going to show out. Either I'm going to win or he going to beat me. But guess what? I'll be back to try to revenge that loss. You did? Fighters don't think like that today. And yes, I feel like we're being robbed out of a few good fights and things of that nature. But it's the nature of the beast now in this boxing game. You prepare yourself for the bullshit. That way you don't have to feel like you got fucked over or, like you're getting gypped out of certain things, even when you are. But you already knew what was going to occur. So you already built for it. You know what I mean? You prepared yourself for that moment, and you can move on to the next, depending on whomever somebody fight. But with Jaron Ennis and Vergil Ortiz, these boys are on a crash course. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. This is their era. When it's time for them to take over the sport of boxing, it will be Jaron and Vergil Ortiz division. Who's the win out of it? Because when you look at this, the landscape, I don't see too many people better than these two dudes that's up and coming at 147. Of course, you got Ahmad Rashidi. You have Jamal James. You have Ray Robinson. You have a few fighters that's up and coming that you can say got a name. Even though he took an L, you still have Josh Kelly over in the UK. It's a few names at 147 that's buzzing a little bit. That's not Terrence Crawford or Earl Spence or Sean Porter or Denny Garcia or Keith Thurman or Manny Pacquiao. That next generation of 147 pounders. And they coming. They coming, bro. They coming and they marching. Them footsteps are coming and they're marching. You feel me? We know this boxing game is what have you done for me lately. We know it's a young man's sport. And you cannot deny these hungry young lions for too long. Right now, I still feel like Earl Spencer, Turnbull Crawford or the elites at the 147-pound division. I feel like they still on their shit. They not having to step back or they not dropping off. So I still, pick them to be victorious over Vergil and Jaron Ennis. But Jaron Ennis and Vergil, as long as they keep working, man, and they don't do something stupid, you feel me? They gonna put themselves in position at a certain time. If Earl and Bud is still, at the top, at the time they get their fights, which it ain't gonna be too much longer, you know, they gonna put themselves in position to, you know, be victorious or put up a hell of a challenge against those dudes because they are that skillful and they can fight their ass off. And like I say, they are on a crash course for whom gonna be the best welterweight after Earl Spencer Turnbull Crawford. After Earl Spencer Turnbull Crawford, you know, because you could just tell. They talking, they got the buzz. You see people saying they want to see Vergil with Bud. He feel like he ready to put him in there. You see Jaron Ennis, if he beat Sergey Lipinets, he gonna be marching for one of those fights saying, you know what, I feel like that was a hell of a win over a top 10 fucking welterweight, over a former world champion at 140 pounds, fought the likes of Mikey Garcia, retired Lamont Peterson. So he have a very strong case to say, you know what, I feel like I'm ready for them boys. I feel like I'm ready. Nobody's going to be able to deny that. Nobody's going to be able to, you know, just dismiss him, you know, especially if he put on a hell of a performance. But with Vergil Ortiz, with Jaron Boots Ennis, who do y'all have winning that fight? Do y'all think Vergil Ortiz can knock him out? Is Robert Garcia, you know, jumping the gun by him saying he felt like Vergil is way better than Boots, you know, and that, you know, when they meet up that, you know, Vergil Ortiz will handle him, you know? In my opinion, I think Jaron Boots Ennis is the more, how can I say, the more gifted fighter, if I should say. But don't get me wrong, Vergil Ortiz is a bad boy. You know, he like to bang it out. He like to go in there and show his grit and his dog, you know, and that will take you a long way. If you got grit, you got heart, you got determination, that will take you a long way in this boxing game. But I think Boots is more skilled. I think Boots is more smarter. I think Boots is more stronger. You feel me? But don't get me wrong, Vergil can crack. Vergil can crack. And we haven't seen Boots going there. He haven't been hit on the chin yet to see if he can take a shot. I seen Vergil get cracked by Maurice Hooker. He took it. He got hurt a little bit, but nonetheless, he recovered. He went out there. He stopped him. Now, I'm not saying Maurice Hooker is no Jaron Ennis. I think Jaron Ennis hit much harder, but Maurice Hooker is a veteran fighter with experience, and Vergil Ortiz did what he had to do. He did what he had to do. So we'll see how Boots do against Sergey Lipinets. See if he can go in there and get him out of there, because that'll be a hell of a statement. These dudes both can continue their rise to greatness. They will meet up. They will fight each other. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it to me. They will fight each other. You know what I'm saying? Because they got to see who's the best out of one another. You know? And like I say, I feel like Boots will be victorious over Vergil Ortiz when they meet up, but you damn sure got to give Vergil Ortiz a shot because of who he is, his determination, and his will to fucking win. His will to win. You cannot deny that. You cannot deny it. So do y'all think when they meet up, will Vergil Ortiz knock out Jaron Ennis? Will Jaron Ennis knock out Vergil Ortiz? Will it be one of them great fucking fights where we get it twice? You know? Or do y'all think it's just going to be, you know, may the best man win on that night? It's going to be a 50-50 fight. Whoever make the better adjustments, you know, be victorious. Because it's going to be one hell of a fight. It's going to be one hell of a fight. But I'm going to tell you this, bro. If Vergil come out there and all he can do is fight, he don't know how to make adjustments, I will say this. Jaron Boots Ennis will stop Vergil Ortiz. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. But do Vergil got a shot? You're damn right he do. Can't wait to see these boys mix it up. Until then, it's your boy Monty. This the ANSBC. Moving ain't nobody safe in these streets. Hit them thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you want to donate. OG Money on Cash App. TreyHoundler52@gmail.com on PayPal. If you can't, just tell a friend. Tell a friend. Hit the subscribe button. Like, comment, share the video. And y'all know how your boy get down, man. Big dog status, family.